Joining me now is Allie. And Allie, you are no stranger to the hot seat. I was just asking you, have you been doing your podcast while you're out here? And you mentioned to me that, no, you've been on a lot of podcasts, actually. And so it's flipping the script a little bit for you, and I'm doing that too right now. But you're such a great advocate for our industry. You are a force to be reckoned with. So before we dive into all that, let's take it back a little bit and kind of just tell us your upbringing and how you got into the role that you're in today.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored. It is a little bit weird to be in the hot seat, so it's a little bit uncomfortable, but I love it. I grew up on my family's generational operation in Northern California, and I was my dad's cowgirl, and he always jokes that when I left, he lost his cowgirl in his top hand. So it was kind of an interesting adjustment, leaving California and coming to Texas, where I knew no one, and I had no cows. It was kind of, my outlet was gone, but it's been really fun to kind of transition and really learn about agriculture in Texas and kind of, the broader scope of our industry as well.
Yeah, most definitely. And like I said, you're such a great advocate for that because you have your podcast, so we'll have you tell us a little bit about that. And you really just speak up for this industry in a way that I think is needed. So tell us about that.
Yeah, it's been such a journey. I can't believe I'm honestly on this path because I never expected it. I always kind of say I started the podcast selfishly, which is maybe not the best thing to say, but I just wanted to learn more about what other women were doing in our industry and their roles and kind of what got them out of bed in the morning. And because of that, it has grown to now my 5th season. And it has been, again, such a journey that I didn't expect, but I think something that is important for us to continue to talk about as we go through conversations with individuals within our industry and with outside our industry as well.
Absolutely. And, you have the background, obviously, the ranch you grew up on, and you had such a great support system, I know, at home, and you're furthering that. So what is it like to kind of be in the role that you're in now, talking about the industry, but hearing others talk about the industry and talk about that support and what it means to be able to receive that from others and then also give that?
Yes, support has been the main contributor to my success. Honestly, couldn't have done it without the backbone of my family and friends kind of in my corner cheering me on. And then also other women in agriculture and other producers saying, what you're doing is needed and we're here for you with whatever you need. I think the community of agriculture is something that has been really refreshing. Obviously, growing up in it, I knew it was there, but now kind of from this other side of getting to highlight it, it's been such an honor and such a great thing to be a part of too. And
it's a great way to give back to the industry in a different way. I know your dad probably misses you being out on the ranch with them, but you're doing and you're giving back to our industry in a unique way, but also educating others. Talk about the education process and what that means to you.
Yeah, the education process has been something that I was excited about, but didn't quite know what I was getting myself into at first. And honestly, because of that, I've decided to educate myself further. So I'm wrapping up my PhD right now.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Ag communications. So I think, there's this general thing going on when we talk about communicating with consumers that it's such a buzzword, such a buzz phrase, but I don't know if we are necessarily approaching it from the right direction sometimes. And so for me, again, it's kind of been taking a step back to really be like, how can I educate myself to then better educate the people we're trying to reach and the consumers we're trying to reach without shoving it in their face, but yet still telling our story.
Well, and I think that's an interesting approach too. Podcasts are very popular, as we know, but social media presence is very popular and reaching not only, inside our industry, but outside of our industry and reaching consumers because everybody has to eat. So can you speak to that a little bit more?
Yes. So I think just podcasting platform has been such a learning curve, first of all, but also just a unique way to connect with people because I think it is a little bit more intimate maybe than social media because you're in their ears or on their radio. And so it's almost like you're getting to sit down and have a conversation, even though you're, thousands of miles apart. And I think it just adds another element to this, connection that we're trying to have in this world where we're on the go 24/7. And so it just kind of maybe diversifies things, but also is a unique way to connect with people too.
For anybody that's watching at home, especially any young females, say they don't want to go back to the ranch, they kind of want to get involved in the industry in a different way, take a unique route. What encouraging words and advice could you give them?
My best advice is never stop learning and always be curious. Personally, I feel like the day I feel like I've mastered it all is the day I'm going to lose my edge. So I would say continue to kind of go after what fuels your drive and what you wake up for every morning. And even the no answers are sometimes the directions to success. So don't give up and never stop learning.
Yeah, great advice. Well, thank you so much for joining us here at CattleCon with RFD-TV.